Welcome to the Homeboys. This is the My Girl from Clayton. It is a 24 by 56 house, right around 1,300 square feet. Comes out to 1,344, I believe. This is from their Tempo series. So in the Tempo series, you're not going to find a bigger value whatsoever. There is a small catch though. There's not allowed many changes whatsoever as far as like doing a bunch of add-ons or a slip and slide or whatever you may be. So if you were hoping for a slip and slide, this is not your house. However, the amount of value in this house is unbeatable. Most of the time with other houses and other manufacturers, you have to spend upwards of anywhere 10, 15, even 20,000 to get to where the standard features are here with this guy. Now, like I said, it's somewhat of a no change home, but you do get to choose your decor. It's about 7 different options as far as exterior decor. You get a choice of a couple different kind of cabinets inside, which we'll take a look at in a little bit. All hardwood cabinets. If you're somewhere where possibly in the snow belt or you're worried about a roof load size, their standard before you add anything is going to be a 30-pound snow load. Then it goes to 40, then 80. And if you need more after that, they can also oblige you. Mentionable standard features on this house is going to be that it comes with Energy Star insulation. That's not an upgrade. You don't have to pay for it. It comes as is. So it's going to have R40 in the ceiling, and it's going to have R21 in the walls and R33 in the floors. And most different kind of houses, you have to pay for that stuff. So this is another reason I think this is an absolutely great value. So this is going to be a Craftsman exterior door. They have a couple options. You can do a 9-light or just a solid blank, or you can have what you see in front of us, which is 6-light. As you can see, it's somewhat of an open floor concept here. You'll have the living room. Now, one of the choices that you can make is to decide between all linoleum or how it is right now. As it sits right now, the living room is going to have a 25-ounce carpet pad, and then each living room and bedroom is going to be carpeted, but you can order it with no carpet whatsoever. We have the kitchen in here. This is an example of one of the countertops that you can choose. I like to say that we have a whole list of options for you, but you basically get 2 choices of countertops and 2 choices of cabinets as well. And these are hardwood cabinets, so don't need to worry about if you sneeze, they're not going to fall off the wall, anything like that. There's a lot of structural integrity to these houses. This is the kitchen. These are your cabinets that you can choose from. So you can either go with a bishop oak, or you can kind of do this beige right here. You get a choice between like gold knobs or black knobs. So you can still, make some choices, just not as much as some of the other houses. Like I said, you can't beat the value here. I would honestly pay extra to not make choices. And so this house kind of works perfect for me. This is the secondary living room. So it can be viewed kind of as a flex room as well. So you can set it up as a playpen, whatever you might need, water aerobics, can kind of go crazy. And then if you follow me, we have a couple bedrooms back here. So right here's one of the bedrooms. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath unit. We have it set up for my summer camp that I stay at. This is, obviously a little bit of a smaller room, but still functional. You have a closet right here, like that. So I don't think he'd be throwing any parties in this room, but it still works. It's better than Harry Potter's room that he had. When we come this way, we got one other bedroom here. But first we'll stop and take a gander at the bathroom. So this is going to be the guest bathroom. It's a 1-piece fiberglass. So one thing I also really like about the Tempo models is some manufacturers will do a standard of like a 3-piece fiberglass shower and whatnot. Comes great with no leaks, but after 5-6 years of use, the grout's going to start going. You're going to start having leaks, I should say, and then you're going to call me complaining. So this is one thing that's great. It's a 1-piece, so there's not really going to be a lot of that issues kind of moving forward as far as wear and tear on the bathroom. Second bedroom, again, a little bit on the smaller side. There's a couple other floor plans in Tempo that offers bigger bedrooms and whatnot, but the main reason I believe that this one's a little bit smaller is because that secondary living room is so big. And this is the closet. Pretty standard, nothing too crazy. But as I said before, these are the guest bedrooms. So value, value, value is really everything to the Tempo series, and quality. That's the best mix. Sometimes you get value, but then it ends up breaking on you. So with the Tempo models by Clayton, that's where they've really, really succeeded. This is kind of another example. This model comes with 3 exterior doors. So if you have, your mother-in-law living with you and maybe didn't want to hear about her nightly activities of sneaking out, there's a door here right next to the guest bedrooms. This is an example of the 9-light Craftsman exterior door. And then we have another exterior door here in the middle of the house. And then the other one is right where we came in. So another thing, and I keep saying another thing, but that's the sweet thing about these Tempo models. There's always something else to kind of rejoice in as far as quality and budget goes. So they're all going to be stainless steel appliances. They have all Samsung appliances, and you get a 2-year warranty on that as well. You can order the house with no appliances. If you already bought a fridge and you want to keep it that way, that's more than fine. I can always get you guys measurements on how far the cabinets would be, so we can usually make whatever works for you. I always suggest just keeping the standard appliances though. So this is a 27 cubic foot Samsung side-by-side refrigerator. If we want to take a gander at it, it's easy open. This house was just delivered on our lot not too long ago. So everything you're seeing is basically what I'm seeing for the first time. So obviously it looks a little fancier than that, but these are how they're traveled. As the house is set up for delivery, everything's kind of wired up and shut. So we ask you to shield your eyes until we're done. Then this is one of the other exterior options I was talking about. Another door right about the mid-length of the house too. So it's great if you're going to be putting a deck on the back here. There's a gable in which you could do an awning cover for it. We won't sell you awnings, but I know a guy who would help you. So if you're cooking, right around 4th of July, whatever it may be, and you got to go chase some kids down, it's really nice to be able to look out that window while you're cooking and then have a door right there. You don't have to go all the way back to the front door and run all the way around. So even though humans have been designing houses for years, a lot of little details go missed. That's just another thing with Clayton. They don't miss many details. The amount of times I've had one of these houses delivered and there was a problem, very, very few and far between. Most of the time it's probably because of me, but the factory is great. Their service is fantastic. They're one of my go-tos. This house here, even though it's 1,344 square feet, can get built between 4 and 6 weeks. So it's a pretty quick turnaround time, especially as far as locking in a price. That's one thing Clayton does really, really well. Even with the tariffs coming and everything like that, for houses that can get built a little bit below that 80-day mark, 60-day mark, we don't have to worry about the tariffs or anything like that. We can get them pumped out pretty quick. If you want to follow me, back here is you're going to have your water heater. So you will have your water heater right here and then your furnace as well. One thing with Clayton is they have really good warranties on these, but they also offer, if you want to get right up close here to this e-built spec. So I could talk days and days about e-built, but we don't get paid by the hour, so I'm not going to be doing all that. But the e-built is probably my go-to thing as far as all Clayton homes. I would say 9 out of 10 people that I sign up for a home, they end up choosing the e-built package. Depends on the size of the house as far as cost goes. So I'm a penny pincher, so you want to make sure you get your value. But you get a 50-gallon hybrid water heater with it, and then you would get an electric heat pump as well. They have gas options if that's something that you're kind of looking more for, but you cannot beat the amount of savings that you get from your energy bills off of it. They say the average is right around 39 to 42% in savings, so it pays for itself pretty quick. I would say as far as all the houses I've ordered, the average price for a house this size is going to be right around $8,300, but it does depend on where you're going. If you're going to be in the snow belt, you're going to have to get a little bit stronger of a heat pump. So that's one thing too, that we will actually organize all of your heat pump delivery and everything will just, once you pay, you can move in. That's the nice thing with these. We don't have to wait for a bunch of different changes or any kind of fixes. Now, I'm not saying nothing ever gets broken or anything like that, but with the e-built package, you move in, you have your AC and you have your heating out the gate. And the best thing about them is it's a hybrid system. They all work in conjunction with one another. So you won't have to fire up your furnace just to, try and start heating up one section of the house, and there's already leftover energy in the water heater and the heat pump. So they'll all work in conjunction. So your furnace isn't having to run 100% all the time. So that's where you're gonna save most of your money right there for you. Then this back here is gonna be where your washer and laundry would go. Pretty self-explanatory. I mean, another thing about Clayton though, their shelves. You gotta love the shelves. You gotta do that TikTok thing where you do. But the shelves are fantastic. You can add a freezer receptacle, which is huge for people who have like a good amount of people in their family, or maybe they like to buy a quarter or half a cow. This freezer receptacle will be on its own circuit. So let's say I'm blow drying my hair in the kitchen and Junior's making me a smoothie, but then pops the breaker. You don't want all of that hard-earned meat that you paid for to go to waste. So it's on its own circuit, so it won't shut off if you pop a breaker. Because it's easy enough, and I feel like we've all kind of been there before. If you want to come back this way, we're actually going to go kind of full circle. So we're going to start heading towards the master bedroom. And one thing is, huge shout out to Junior's wife, Uda, for staging all of these. Like if you look, everything's absolutely fantastic. One of the things that we offer as a courtesy to all of our customers, we have a wholesale account with Ashley Furniture. So if you fall in love with the house, great, we'll make a deal. But if you fall in love with that couch or that chair, we can get that to you at a pretty good discounted price as well. Just don't tell my mom, because I've definitely bought her about 3 or 4 gifts and she thinks I paid full price. So anyways, savings, budget, all that good stuff with Clayton. But come on back. This is the master bedroom right here. So as you see, it's all gonna be 8-foot flat ceilings. That's something they cannot adjust for in the factory. If you go with a different house, even by Clayton, you can, but in the Tempo series, you cannot adjust the height whatsoever. Now I'm just over 5 foot nothing, so I've never needed legroom. I've never bonked my head on anything really, because I'm just that short. So this house is fantastic. And then right in here is gonna be the wardrobe. Be a walk-in wardrobe right here. So you can hang clothes on this side. You come on in over here. Perfect. You can also make it into a music studio as well with how good the insulation is. The sound's not gonna travel really, really well in this. And it's all at the standard price. You don't have to pay for that upgrade, which is getting huge. And then right in here is gonna be the master bathroom. So you're gonna have your 2 sinks right here with the mirrors, and this all comes with it. This is another 1-piece fiberglass shower. So if you remember earlier, one benefit that I was talking about from the 3-piece to the 1-piece fiberglass showers is you don't have to worry about wear and tear. Now you still have to clean up after yourselves, no doubt, but you're not gonna have a lot of leaking on the crease lines. So whereas a 3-piece comes in 3 pieces, and you really gotta be careful about that, because as every homeowner knows, once you get water into the walls, it's gonna be a project. What type of family this really fits? Now, it can fit anyone depending on how much you love your family. You can fit a 10-person family in here if you like. This is that 3-bedroom, 2-bath though. As you saw earlier, we staged one of the rooms almost as a nursery, because the rooms are gonna be a little bit smaller in this one, but you kind of get what you pay for in that respect with all of the other upgrades. I mean, this house, I did the math, it comes out after an 80-pound snow load, garbage disposal, everything comes out just over $100 per square foot. Now, if you were to look on even the Spokane market right now, a house with similar size, similar layout is gonna be upwards of almost 600,000 sometimes. And if it's not at that price point, you're gonna have to spend 50, 60 grand to get it up to, unless if you get lucky, find a good deal. I don't know everything, but been doing this for a little bit, and you can kind of tell that this is just so much better of an option. The trick is to find land. It's gonna be the hardest part of the puzzle piece to do it, but we also do site checks. We help you out. We set you up with a real estate agent if you need. As far as the different kind of families, I've had someone buy this house and do a rental before, where you rented out the 2 rooms. I've also had someone who bought a different Tempo series, the Hey Jude. The fridge was, somewhat in the center of the room. It was kind of blocking that secondary living room. That's just how they designed it, but it was not a load supporting wall. So the money they saved from buying the Hey Jude, they took all of that extra money and then just kind of redesigned it to what they like. So there's still options, and your warranties will still hold, as long as you don't have like your sister's boyfriend come in and replace the roof and he's not licensed and bonded. That would break the warranty. But that's another great thing with Clayton is it's a 30-year warranty on these roofs. You get a 5-year 50 warranty on all of the siding as well, which is huge. And then 2-year warranties on all of the appliances. And then we will insure everything inside the house up to a year, as Homeboys will. The houses sell themselves. That's what Junior's always said. And then we finally decided maybe we should do some marketing just to kind of share the truth of how affordable getting into a house really can be. Because like I said, a guy my age starting out, it's almost impossible. If you find the house with the right price, it's in the worst neighborhood, and then vice versa. It's just one of those where you don't want to be absolutely burdened, and Clayton will set you free with their value and everything that's with it. So I myself am looking at getting one of the Tempo series, but we have another location in Pasco, Washington, and they carry about 7 or 8 different Tempos. We have 6 here right now that you can come down and visit as well. Now, the nice thing is, if you're looking for a certain floor plan, but we don't have it, most of all of these Tempos are going to be built the same. You're going to have the same kind of cabinets, the same appliances, everything like that. So you can really get a feel for it, because God knows if you're going to sign off a check worth $230,000, you're going to want to walk through and see that product with your own eyes. So with Tempo, it being a no change home, it kind of offers that accessibility. So if you don't have the option to walk through one of the houses, you can just walk through another one, and it really kind of shows you the floor plan and everything. 7 days a week, 9 to 5. You don't need to walk in, make an appointment. You can just kind of show up. We give you a lot map. That way you can walk each house by yourself without having me breathe on you. So these are in all of the homes right here. So we put all the prices up front, but same with Pasco. So if you guys find a free moment, come look at some houses. They're definitely a lot different than the ones I grew up in as far as trailers go. Come a long way.